New day in the workshop.
Hello.
If you don't remember Jake, here's another introduction.
From the UK, just 20 years old, from the Lake District. First appearance at Red Bull Roof Ride. First appearance really at an event of this magnitude.
Now, we're going to be building a bike for a young local cyclocross rider, but he's winning everything right now. Doing really, really well, but he keeps outgrowing his bikes. So this from HUP.cc. We've got a whole bunch of components here. I'm going to talk you through it. Jake's going to build it.
Brake mounts for facing. All of this middle bit is, if you actually look from a side angle, the paint in the middle is actually higher than the mounting points.
Yeah, and we don't want to put too much labour time into this either, because we've got to keep it under budget. So we've got a plan, right?
Yeah, I think so. The BB also looks like it maybe needs a little bit of a facing on there, and also typically the headset has overspray, but for the price of the frame, it's not terrible. We've definitely seen worse.
It's good clean threads at least.
Feels pretty good.
Thing is, we're only really cutting paint, so we don't need cutting oil so much.
No.
But it's good practice to have it for sure. It's a brand new cutter, so it shouldn't need too much pressure.
It feels nice.
Isn't it nice having a fresh cutting tool?
You
forget when they go blunt, don't you?
It's so much better.
Oh yeah, so much better. It means we've got a flat surface now.
Yeah.
And when we install our bottom bracket, that we're going to have a flat interface with this section here. While Jake's doing that, Hannah's working on this little bottom bracket problem where you can see we're suffering a huge amount of under rotation on one side and a little bit of binding on the other side. So measuring tools are out, got some fresh grease as well. Luckily we're using XD15 bearings and these still feel absolutely beautiful, but we just need to improve some tolerances here. Now to sort the headset out, we've got these ceramic knives that we've shown you on the channel before. These are two different shapes that I've discovered. A little micro blade and this curved one that's going to really help get into those headsets and scrape out all that paint from the headsets without having to go in there and do a whole face in just when it's a little bit of paint. Right, what are we going to do about this? Here's the problem, is that we've got these two bits here which have been masked off, but this section here in the middle, it's got like a bulge of paint, and it's that which is causing this to not sit as flush as we want. At the moment I've got a little washer in there, I don't know if you can just to see what the problem is. Now the thing is, to sort this out properly, we should really sand down all of this. My God, that is a labour intensive job on what should be a build where we're keeping an eye on the costs. So I've got a fix. Okay, I think the solution for the problem is to just ignore the problem and we shall get rid of the mount to run a 160 disc, and we're just going to take the caliper because this already has a gap in the middle, so we only have to worry about the actual mounting points. Looks pretty good. I think maybe a little bit of facing just on them little bits around the hole with the knife, and then yeah. So you can see sometimes the knife isn't as brutal as having the facing tool on, taking a whole load of material off, keeping most of the paintwork intact. Also significantly quicker. Let's see how that looks with the caliper on. It's looking actually pretty flat, isn't it? It's just a... It's not bad, it's just this little bit here. The underlying frame is okay, it's just that paint. Cool, right. 140mm rotors it is. That's it, problem solved that fast. Now this bike, as much as it's going to be a cyclocross racer, it's also going to be a bike that we use to go for rides with the family, and that means that it might get a front mech fitted at some point. But also the rider is used to using shifters on both sides, so in the heat of cyclocross battle it makes sense to have left for easy, right for hard, and we've always got the option of putting a front mech on and this becoming a bike that he rides with the rest of the family. Always got to be thinking ahead when you're working with kids' bikes. So much you've got to think about in terms of future proofing, because he'll grow out of these bars dead quickly, he'll grow out of the gear ratios dead quickly, and eventually he'll grow out of the frame as well. Routed our little guide through the side it was originally routed when it's come to us, but seeing as though this bike's going wireless, it would make much more sense if we route the brake hose to this side, as it's on the left, then it wraps around nicely here, as opposed to coming out this side of the frame, and then when you turn in right, it just rubs on the frame. Quick word on headsets. So weirdly, or unusually now actually, you're going to need a crown race for this, because the fork Doesn't have a natural taper to it like we see on a lot of the builds that we do. And also the headset on this is wide at the bottom, 52 at the bottom, and I don't know what size it is, but it's smaller. So do our measurements, and we need to buy an entire headset. We've gone for this Dado one, and it's going to look like this. So we have our 51.9 lower headset, we have our Crown Race, which is going on there, and it's a split one as well, so it will just slide over the top. We have our smaller bearing at the top, our data compression ring, and we have weirdly 2 top caps as well. We have this one that makes it completely flat if you want it slat, and this is a little carbon piece just to make it tapered and look nice if you're going to be running spacers, which we are. So the maximum according to HUP is 4 centimeters of spaces, so we're going to go 3.5 and make sure that we've got enough that the kid can grow into it a little bit without having too much of a chimney to worry about when he's at the smallest setting, so to speak. Right then, young Jake, I've got a challenge for you. Wheels, and it is going to be a challenge. You know challenge tyres, right?
Yeah.
Well, the good news is I've had these stretching over a couple of barbells for a couple of days, so hopefully they're going to fit all right. But now these are the Challenge Lima's tyres, which, remember other Jake used to swear by them, thought were the best tyres in the world. But we
Not
need
to fit.
And an airliner. I reckon I can beat you fitting these.
No chance.
Or a race.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
3, 2, 1, go.
I don't even know where. I'm panicking.
DT Swiss wheels. You think these are the G1800s, 1600s? Great value set of wheels. Great for cyclocross because easy to repair. So if you're going to a cyclocross race in a foreign town and you break a spoke, the chances are the bike shop, wherever you end up, probably going to be able to fix it for you on short notice. Same if you lose end caps in the car parks, that sort of thing. There's probably going to be someone in the pits that can help you out. So now with Challenge Lima's tyres, Jake, the long bits go forwards.
The long bits forward. Okay.
Yeah.
Is he telling me that so then I'm automatically lose when it's
Promise you,
that's actually backwards?
Google it, because there's no rotation mark on these at all.
Why would they do that?
I don't know, but there are several forums out there that try and tell you exactly how it should be, so I trust them. And Jake once told me. Oh my God, these are the tightest things in the world.
I just don't like them.
I do have the proper tool. I don't actually know how to use it though. So Challenge do actually make a tool like this, but I think that's for the act of actually getting it on the second side. Where have the tyre levers gone?
I don't know, where are the tyre
Who's got the
levers?
tyre levers?
I've got a couple.
You've got all the tyre levers.
Take your
that
pick.
On one side on.
Same. Have you got your valve in there?
I'm going to put tyre liners first, because there is a special valve for the tyre liners which have a different configuration of holes at the end. So these inserts are the lightweight inserts, so they're not a full, they've kind of got like a U shape to them. No way! Is Jake already at the tyre sealant stage?
Yep.
No!
Come on, Paul. Faster.
About 60 mil. So the technique I'm using here is like rolling it on and then trying to get that underneath the tyre liner. I think stretching them over the barbell has definitely worked.
It's definitely helped. Oh, get out of the way.
You're done. Well done, Jake.
So I've hit the cassette as well.
Right, this is where we're up to. Ultegra levers fitted, little 36cm bar, looks absolutely sweet. Cables routed beautifully, so they are never going to touch the frame. Good work, Jake. Now, what we're doing with our gears, we have gone for, from the mountain bike range, on the micro spline system, this is a 12-speed, 10 through to 45 cassette. So the cassette is significantly lighter than the ones that you'd normally get with GRX. Thing is, for cyclocross racing on kids track, it's not, you don't really need those super low ratios. You're not really going up anything that steep. You can save a chunk of weight from the back wheel by going to this cassette here. But to compensate, you're also going to need to come down a little size on the chain rings, and TA components make really reasonably priced GRX compatible chain rings down to a 38. So we've just moved all of the gears down a step. Still sticking with the GRX crankset because they now do 160mm cranks. Pretty sure 160mm cranks in this, which is brilliant. About as short as we can get before having to go to really specialist kid stuff, like HUP do, to be fair. But we're at the point where this kid is probably at the age where he's going to be rapidly growing into adult parts. So I think this is going to work pretty well. And then of course the rear mech, we're going wireless shifting. It works so well with kids. I know it's expensive, it's an extravagance, but really intuitive for them. And again, this bike is being used not just for cyclocross racing, but this is an absolutely cycling mad family who love going on big trips together. They've got trips planned down to the Ardèche and all sorts. So this is just going to make everything a whole lot more fun for everybody. So big GRX mech. And again, this is completely future-proof. So in the future, if they do want to go to a big cassette because they're going to go somewhere hillier, it's a really, really easy upgrade. Right, back over to Jake. Let's get all this fitted. Where you've just come back from, 'cause it's been a pretty exciting few weeks for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was just in America, in Bentonville, the home of mountain biking, which was super cool actually for a Bentonville Bike Fest where loads of brands go to show off product and all that. But we had a Red Bull Double Down, it was called, which is on YouTube if anyone wants to watch that.
We all should be showing clips.
Yeah. Which was like mountain bike and BMX teamed up, and we did that event, and there was loads of other races there, enduro and stuff. So yeah, it was cool.
Bentonville pretty much is the mecca of mountain biking, isn't it, out there? It's just such a mountain biking vibe.
How expensive is a ceramic bottom bracket nowadays?
These are pretty reasonable. They're just under £300.
I knew that was coming. Reasonable. How?
Well, there's some other bottom brackets out there that aren't even ceramic that cost £300. Absolutely no excuses if you don't win your cyclocross race now. Zero friction in your bottom bracket.
Yeah, there's literally no excuse.
All done. It looks so cool, this like monochrome orange. That was my idea. I hope he likes it. Anyway, loads of seat posts to cut off still. What I like about the HUP frames, they don't put bottle cage bosses on here, which means that you've got the full length of the seat tube to adjust. You're not going to suddenly interfere with the bottle cage bosses, which is brilliant. So easy to work on as well. DT Swiss G1800 wheels, dead easy to service. Standard DT Swiss internals. Challenge lemurs. If you race cyclocross in the northwest of the UK, this is the only tyre you pretty much run. Other than that, full GRX group set that we can upgrade, we can modify. As he takes it on holiday with his family, loads and loads of options. And for the first time, we've gone from a 34cm bar, it's grown up, it's now gone to a 36 as he gets a little bit bigger. So good future-proof options. But I'm going to hand it over to Jake for the test ride.
Make sure the brakes are blood. What an awesome little bike.
Chain's not going to snap.
Is there something wrong with it, Jake?
I'm just making sure it works.
Another one wheel.